her now again.
Thank you,
Thank you so
Papi.
much, Baba. Thank you. Thank you for the acting. Thank you. Alex, thank you so much for the likes. I see you. Thank you, everyone that's been tapping. Let me push this thing closer so my phone will be closer to me. Mr. Henry. I'm not sure you can see that. Thank you, Shouto. Thank you for the hearts me. Thank you. Triba Henry is very busy at work now. So I'm not sure you will see that you gifted him to acknowledge. But thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Where is my angel? Now I don't want to start with that angel here. But I don't know. Maybe before we kickstart, if we have an idea what codependency is, if anyone wants to share, like give us maybe a definition or an intro, we can just start with that because we are currently running like behind schedule. So we are 30 minutes into the live stream and we've not had any proper discussion yet. So we can just kickstart now too. So we can meet up with them. Is there anyone that would like to share with us what they think or what they know is codependency? If you would like to share, you can just unmute your mic and go on. Anyone? Anyone want to share?
If I'm correct, does it is it the kind of relationship where the parents are not married or in a relationship, but the
No, we are just talking about codependency.
yeah.
In
I mean,
general.
with regard to the child, like is it does he? I'm trying to get a general picture.
Okay. Monica is not here. She would have been able to give us an exact point of view she would like us to concentrate on.
1 second.
Ask if she like us to concentrate on, but she's not here currently, so we'll just go with it in general because, like I said, I'm trying to read up. I'm sorry. I was supposed to follow up on this week's since last week, but my bad. I've been busy following up on other things of life rather than this. Okay, so I will just give a Google definition that I have here. It says codependency is excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner. It said typically one who requires support on account of an illness or addiction. Okay, Mr. Henry, you fell off the box. Sorry.
Picture now. I just checked it out myself.
Okay. So I don't know if we all can check that and see.
Well, I've not had any personal experience with regard to a partner who relies on you for daily physical, or who has to complement your, should I say, disabilities or your inability to perform certain tasks. I've not had any personal experience, but I can't imagine that it's the easiest thing to manage. It's I think it's a huge burden to place on an individual. I've seen a couple of stories on this TikTok here, where there was the case of a fire. You know, the partner was partner had an accident and he had was it 5th degree burns. So it was a really serious issue. So it seemed as if it looks, maybe they're still together, I don't know. But at that time, it looked as if for the rest of her life, she would have to rely on her partner, you know. And when you think about it, it's a really huge burden, you know. He can't have other. What is the emotional what is the emotional cost of finding other partners when you need things like sex, or is looking for the, you know, what is the emotional cost to the other partner?
The
How
network is
much
beginning to.
how can you hear me now? Is it better now?
Yes, I can
Is
hear
it
you
better
now.
now?
It's better. Yes, 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 yes.
Testicles 1 2, testicles 1 2. Okay.
Which
So
one is that?
so basically, oh, testing, I was saying testing. So so basically, you have to consider the emotional burden on the flung, you know. How do they, I've not, I'll say it again, I've not been in that position myself, but I can't imagine it's an easy thing to go through, you know, having to always give support for a partner who needs you for survival, you know, and those things that you used to expect, those things I used to enjoy before, let's say a said accident, you know, maybe like a regular life, you know, regular sexual intercourse, you know, there were activities before maybe the accident happened, you know, and suddenly everything has to change, and certainly you are like this person depends on you for life, basically, and you can't look at any other partner. You know, it's a very tight situation. It's very tight. I can't imagine it's the easiest thing to do. So I think what will give us some perspective will be if maybe somebody who has gone through such or similar experiences can express what it's like, and the emotional roller coasters that are involved. So basically, I can't imagine it's the easiest thing in the world to do. It's a real sacrifice. It's a real sacrifice. Maybe somebody would like to compliment.
Okay, like, especially when you are the one, maybe taking care of the person who has to depend on you, right?
Exactly, exactly, exactly. You are responsible for the person's life. You know, the person needs you in the morning. You have to take care of this person. You know, it's not. It's not. Thinking about it, it's not the easiest thing to comprehend, man. It's not the easiest thing. It's a real life of sacrifice. It's a real
Mm,
life of sacrifice. It's something you didn't sign up for, but it just happened. And suddenly you have to take care of this person. If you leave this person, and if you leave this person, everybody's going to look at you like a bad person. You know, like you're the worst. You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because reading up, it was saying in the traits, um, the signs, what signs I've yet to see with someone that you know is a codependent person? What are the signs of a codependent person actually? And it was talking about low self-esteem, um, trouble identifying your own emotions, trouble making decisions, desire to care for others, desire to feel important to someone, an excessive sense of responsibility for the way others act. Do you get a tendency to fall in love with the people you can rescue? Difficulty dealing with change. So this aspect now basically is concentrated more on someone who is like maybe a caregiver for someone who is down, either via maybe it could be as a result of illness or accidents, just like you've mentioned, or an addiction, like maybe if you're addicted to drugs, excessive intake of drug can make you really like not be mentally stable to some extent that you cannot even care for your own self. You need assistance from others to care for you and take good proper hygiene. Do you get so? Um, Reading through, I really felt like, wow, this is really it's not an easy task for anyone, especially the one who shows the love, who gives the care, actually. It's not because imagine that you have to help someone that is down in health and can't move about from point A to point B. Maybe when they have to use the toilet, you have to assist them by moving them to the toilet. So it can be really very, very frustrating. And maybe they cannot even assist themselves in wiping themselves clean or even showering, cleaning up themselves and all, and you end up struggling with all of this. This can really be very, very, very tedious. Thank you so much, Mr. Eric. So if Monica was here, I would have loved for her to like maybe mention what she wants us to concentrate more on, because I read up also, and in some cases I read where a partner solely depends on the other partner when it has to come to taking responsibility of the home and the family, and that includes financially. So, but she's not right here, and I honestly cannot figure that out. So, I haven't read this. Hold on. Sorry. Alex, you're saying something?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you.
Oh, Alex, are you talking to us?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I don't want to start talking now and you go on.
I've
Okay.
got you
I
now.
can
Okay.
I
After
can
you.
also
Okay.
share if I also
Which
say
value
something
you're
about.
saying?
Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you.
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes. I also wanted to give my perspective about. I don't know if I got it right. Codependence in a relationship. First of all, I want to give you. I don't know if it's the one I'm getting. I remember sometime back I was in a relationship. Yeah, which I had a girlfriend, and this girlfriend was a wonderful person. Was so nice, was very nice, and to the extent that his being nice sometimes could be annoying, because she was this. I think, like you said, she had very low self-esteem and very low self-love. Okay, she did not have love herself, and that's why it's extremely important for parents to love their children as much as possible. Because if you don't teach them how to love, they are going to be empty. They are going to be devoid of love, thinking that they try to buy love, to give gifts to other people so that they can love them back. And this is exactly what was happening with this girl. She always gave out almost everything to seek validation from other people. Yeah, I don't really know how I can explain it, but to me, my understanding, I don't know if I got this your definition you explained from Google. Codependence in a relationship is whereby a person is so much attached to someone, like it feels like your life may not even go on without that person. I think that's not love, because we have to understand to define love fundamentally. What is love? Love is an emotion. It's an emotional reaction within you. Okay, this love happens within you. Maybe it is stimulated by someone. For example, Hinex, you look at me, you feel a sweet emotion that we call love just by looking at me. When you look at me, that emotion is activated within you. When you look at a baby, you feel good. So this baby is giving you a permission to activate a certain feeling within you. Because some people say love is in the air. Love is in the air, love is this, love is that. No, love is within you. Yes, it can be activated by something outside you, but initially it's going to happen within you. I think this is very important for people to understand, because some people get attached to other people and they want that person to be the symbol of love. So when they look at that person, or when they are with that person, they feel that emotions, but those emotions are happening within them, but those emotions are activated by the other person. Yeah? So it is like, if I may use this analogy, this example of having a car, and this car, you have to push it for it to start. Okay, that's the kind of love that the feeling within you has to be activated by something outside you. But what if you have a car that starts with just a key? You don't have to even press a button, but you use a key. You can regulate it from outside. You can tune it when you want. You can switch it off when you want. I think we have to evolve as human beings. We reach at a certain level so that our love, this feeling, this emotional reaction we call love, when it is not dependent on anything outside us, okay, we can feel emotions of love when we are with someone or without someone. So it's extremely important to experience that, because if you let other people become the ones that are going to stimulate that emotion within you, when those people choose to cross, okay, when they choose to go away, you're going to get frustration, which means that that feeling of love is not controlled by you. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense.
Yeah.
Does it
Yes,
make
you're
sense?
making a lot of sense.
Yes. So what I'm
Yes, you
trying
are
to
making
say, is that we have to understand that all the emotions, whether it is a sweet emotion or agony, it all happening within us. Okay, and we create it, not the other person. We give the other person a permission to create all those emotional reactions within us. Okay, to feel bad, to do us. So it's so dangerous to give permission to someone to regulate how you're going to feel. So people who are depending on other people for love, when the
Sorry,
other person reaches a
please.
point
You're coming very late. Sorry.
and when that person chooses to cross the tap, when it's no longer giving you what you want, then you start getting, or when the person goes away into your life, steps out of love, and you start getting frustration, and you feel like you have to kill yourself because the other person is no longer, loving you, is no longer, expressing that is no longer giving you that permission. So you feel frustrated. So that's why I think we should learn how to control our feelings, not allowing any other person outside us to, to make us feel a certain way. We should always, that control should always be in our hands.
Monica dropped. Okay. Can you hear me with Valley?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
God, I beg, I agree to special.
Okay. Are you done talking?
Yes, I'm done talking. I'm done talking.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Sorry, I got distracted. I was trying to usher money in, and then God I beg
Yes, but I don't know if you got my message, yeah? Like what I was
God,
trying
I
to,
beg.
like, the point I was
Agree
trying
to
to make.
Yes, I got you. You were saying that in the process of trying to prove our love or prove ourselves to someone else, we shouldn't end up losing ourselves. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes. Like the point was that when we don't have to give, it's extremely dangerous to give permission other people to control how you're going to feel.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to experience love, but that love, you have to understand that is something that happens within you. Love is not something that happens outside you. Love is an emotion, and emotions happens within our body, not outside our body. So the other person can press psychological tricks to stimulate those feelings, those emotional reactions within you. If they want to make you happy, they can do it. If they want to make you sad, they can do it. That's if you give them permission. But all those emotions, if they happen within you, you have 100% control of how you're going to feel. People who have not evolved who have not evolved their consciousness
How are
to
you
reach
going to
a
feel?
level of controlling how they feel, then it's going to be controlled by other people, which is so unfortunate.
Okay, so this is in regards to relationship. So you're talking about codependency in relation to relationship, right?
Yes, in relationships, in all forms of relationship, including even your children. If you get so much
Yeah.
attached to your children, to your bosses, to your job, you have to get involved fully in all activities going around. But you don't need to get attached to them emotionally, because if you get emotionally attached to things, in most cases, if the things don't go the way you want,
Yeah.
you can get a lot of frustration and start feeling bad.
Ultimately, ult-
I agree with you. Okay, okay, Alex.
uh,
Let
ultimately, I
me
think
let me
it
pin what I
boils.
want to say so I don't
I
forget.
think it boils down to validation seeking. I think it boils down to validation seeking. You're looking for that veil of approval. Is what I'm doing right? The way I'm living, am I okay? Like what I'm doing, the way I'm living, the way my activities, the way I think, is it all right? So that constant need for validation from externally, when there's no real internal locus of control with regard to your emotions, you're always seeking validation because you're not really content with how you are or your concept of self, so you're always seeking
Yes,
validation.
yes.
Yes, bro. So I think it boils down to that validation seeking mentality. You're always looking for it outside of yourself. You're always looking for it from other people. You never have it. So when you see somebody who can finally maybe live with who you are, or stay with your characteristics, or finally settle down with you, despite your bad behavior in quotes, then you just go all out and depend on this person for all the validation in the world. You always want to please. You're always looking to please. Oh, am I doing this right? Am I doing this okay? Will he get offended? Yeah.
Welcome back,
Yeah.
Monica.
Hi.
Sorry.
Yes. So
Anna,
Can I say
said I
Alex
went
is
to
something?
look
saying.
for money. It's not here.
Okay.
Hello.
So I shared the live with her.
Hi, everybody.
Hello, Monica. Welcome in. We were waiting for you actually because good evening. Okay, that was you, right? Oh, Angel is here. Angel, welcome back. Thank you. Okay. So Monica, welcome in, and in regards to your request last week, you were like we should talk about codependency. So I want to know, is there a specific aspect of codependency you like for us to treat? Because while reading through, I found out that aside relationship, there are other aspects where you can be solely dependent on one person. So I want to find out, is there a specific aspect you like for us to touch on this? Welcome in.
No, I don't think I had a specific area. No, I just wanted to talk about it in general. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Can I say something?
Yes, please, you can.
Okay. Good day, everybody.
Welcome in.
First of all,
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about codependency.
Yeah.
I believe everybody has experienced it, and we might have experienced it at different levels,
Mm-hmm.
because there have been times, because if you have been in any relationship, or probably let me put it correctly, if you have been in a relationship and the relationship has been for some time,
Yeah.
both of you would have experienced it,
Mm-hmm.
because there will be times where you are not feeling fine,
Okay.
where you are not strong. And when you are not strong, directly or indirectly, another human being takes your responsibility. And depending on the level of the sickness, it also depends on how well the person will take up the responsibility. You might get to the level where somebody will have to take your bath. You might get to the level where somebody will have to just, okay, normal, just cook for you. Normal, just brush your teeth. It depends on the levels. And of course, what we're always hoping for is to be in a relationship where even if this codependency issue is coming up, we pray that it does not last too long. Because, of course, if you are taking care of somebody that is sick, of course, you are always wishing the person quick recovery. Of course, one of the ways you are wishing the person quick recovery, you're also wishing yourself quick living this
Relief.
status of trying to help. Exactly. You understand? So everybody has experienced it. You have experienced it with your mom, with your dad, with your brothers, with your sisters, with your partner. And as a matter of fact, maybe with somebody that you don't even know. There have been days back in school days, probably somebody that you don't know just fell sick. You just take up the responsibility to either get the person to the hospital, get the person home, to ensure that the person is okay. Even if we take it to the context of a relationship or out of relationship, even inside the relationship, it's still the same.
Okay.
In any area that you are lacking, another person is going to fill in the gap, and you will depend on that person for that. Even when we take health out of the equation, even when it comes to intellect, there are times two people will be working. One will know that this person is vast in this area. When it comes to if they are in public, the other better half will rely on that person's wisdom in that area to shine for both of them. So that's the codependency. Of course, like I said, it's possible that we have not experienced it at the extreme, where probably certain persons got married, they're in a relationship. After 1 or 2 years, 3, 4, 5 years, an accident happened. Maybe somebody got blind or got probably the person cannot walk again. The person cannot do certain things again, and you are looking at the situation. You know that this situation is going to kind of either last forever. Of course, that one is also codependent, but this time around, there is no exit route. Because this time around, you cannot be wishing the person quick recovery. You know, it's not just a normal sickness where the person can just take drugs. That's when it now comes to the love that we're ever talking about, because love is a decision.
Okay.
Because you chose to be with this person. Of course, I know a lot of persons have changed this saying of for better, for worse, richer, for poorer. I don't know the motivation behind it, where some people will say, it's for better, and for richer, for richer. And we all know sometimes, of course, life can happen. It is good we abreast ourselves with these realities to know that there are times certain things will happen. I am not just looking for somebody to make me happy. I'm coming into this relationship to make this person happy. So directly or indirectly, we'll keep depending on each other. Even when it comes to areas of finance, it's still codependence. Because there are times this person will depend on the next person to fill in the gap in certain areas. So most definitely is a journey that two persons will keep working on. If they are being selfless, they will see it as joy to be of help to somebody that is close to them. Except when that selflessness is not there. And when that selflessness is not there, of course, people are always seeking exit route, particularly when the dependency is getting more intense.
I thought I
I don't know
saw
if you can still hear
Tracy.
me. At least, hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, okay, well, let me first of all stop there in case another person have one or two things to say.
Okay. Thank you so much. Angel, I can't invite you. Why? Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, God, I
Sorry
beg.
once more for
Welcome.
coming late.
No problem at all.
The story I came with, maybe I did not get the full definition of codependency because I was trying to understand what it's all about.
Okay. Okay. In our definition, I said codependency is excessive emotional or psychological reliance on a partner. Requires support on account of an illness or addiction. Do you get? So we're like, and this could be related in various ways. Like this was just pointing to the direction of reliance based of illness or addiction. Then we had to talk about codependency in terms of relationship, which Claire Rapido was currently kind of explaining furthermore to us.
My own understanding, that's in line with what I was saying. So,
Okay.
but the way you are putting it as if it's one-sided, I believe it's supposed to be codependency for both sides. The guy will be
When you say
100%
codependency,
dependent on the lady
that's
for
one-sided. One
certain
party
things.
is dependent on the other.
Yes.
Okay. You're coming
No,
from
I believe it should be
both
mutually.
ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes. For example. Yes. For example,
Okay.
the man will be totally dependent, or let me say, taking care of the children and for food things like cooking and all the rest. While the lady will be totally dependent on the man for the money, for the upkeep and all the rest. So with that, both of them are totally dependent on each other for things they cannot meet up to.
Um,
I don't know if I'm in line with what people are talking about.
that would be what the right word to use for that would be partnership, so to say. When both parties are involved and they decide to like support each other by maybe sharing different responsibilities amongst themselves. Do you get? That would be partnership. Both partners agreeing to partner together to help one another. But when you say codependency, it means one person relying solely on the other person. It's just like the other time when we treated the topic sole providers. Do you get? So when Money mentioned this, I had to look through and I was like, oh, this is like what we talked about when one partner is solely relying on the other partner for maybe doing everything. Because when we talk about so providers, we talked about coming into agreements. That's whereby you start deciding on whose responsibility is it to do certain things. Do you get? And whose responsibility is it not to do certain things? Solely relying on the other partner for everything. Do you get? So in relationship aspects, so it means the other partner solely relies on the other partner financially, emotionally, otherwise. Yes, everything. Everything. So
Me, that's totally wrong. I don't subscribe to such because it is, in fact, the only person maybe we can choose to rely on, which we don't actually, is God. But even at that, we still do certain things ourselves. We don't totally rely on God. So I'm surprised why we will now choose to rely on a human being totally. Is very, very wrong to me. Oh.
when it comes to
It should not be
relationship
Many,
practiced.
aspects,
many times,
you see,
many times people don't choose. Like people
Yes,
don't
they
okay,
choose
don't
it.
choose. Yes.
go on, Alex. What did you
Yeah,
say?
yeah. I'm just responding to him. They don't choose. People don't choose to be in codependent relationships. It's not something that they want or they desire to be in. It just happens that they are looking for what they don't have. They're just looking for it, you know. So it's not as if they want to be in that situation, but they can't help it.
Okay, when it comes to illness, I might agree. with that. And as a result of that, they've been rendered disabled to do some certain things. I would agree with that. But when both partners are physically fit, do you get, and one has to rely on the other financially and otherwise, I feel like it's what they intentionally want to do. Because some
Yes.
partners can decide to
Yes,
be
I subscribe.
codependent, yes, because of their own selfish reason. Because maybe they feel that, oh, my partner is so wealthy, why do I need to work? Why do I need to stress myself looking for extra cash when my partner is already wealthy and capable of managing everything financially? Do you get? So you see them redundant. You see them not wanting to go extra to like help in any ways. And I feel like that's where the issue of love comes in, because if you actually love your partner, you not want to watch them do everything on their own. You want to assist one way or the other. Do you get? No matter how little the effort you're bringing in is. Alex has dropped. I don't know if he's still here, that he can hear us.
Yes, that's
Okay.
true, Inex.
Thanks for giving
You
me
see,
that.
I
Thank you.
understand Alex's
Anybody say
perspective
that?
that he's not
Mhm.
okay. Can I go on? I said I understand
Yes,
Alex's
please.
perspective that it's not actually a planned or the intention. It just happens. But what I will say is when
Mhm.
you occur, you should
Sorry?
always try to I said when such scenario occur, when somebody find his or herself in such a scenario where you are totally dependent on the other partner, you should try to do something about it because it would be wrong to remain in that position,
Who should do
especially
something
if
about
something
it?
can be done.
Is it the one that they depend on
That
or the
especially
one
if
who
some
is solely dependent?
no, because look at
There
this is
are
reality. If someone is aware that you are totally dependent on them, it will just
Mm-hmm.
take matter of time and things will not go well. So it is you that is the one that is depending on the other should make yourself useful
Okay,
so that the
like,
other person can value you as well. Because
okay, okay.
if you are not valued, you are just you can
Hmm. You were not here when Wheat Valley was giving his take, and I kind of agree with that. He mentioned this is when one partner is codependent on the other person. The one partner is enabling them. Do you get? Let's say, for instance, you have a man and a woman, and the woman is solely dependent on the man. I like maybe feasting off his love and genuineness for her. Do you get? The other person, which is the male partner, on the other hand, is trying to prove himself to the female partner. Do you get? So he's trying to prove his love. He's trying to get validation from her. He's trying to make her feel like, I really love you and I can do anything or go beyond for you. So as a result of that, he's willing to enable her the more. Do you get? It also goes a long way as regards parenting. Like when you see a mother loving one of the children way above that, they find it so difficult to even correct the child, and that's where addiction comes in, and maybe some issues of maybe stubbornness and waywardness comes in. Like you see this child is herring, and instead of you to like discipline, you're trying to pamper the child because you want to make them feel love. There's a way you will make someone feel loved by not just enabling them in so many things and letting them get away with whatever they want at the time. Do you get? So that's why I would never be one who will approve or stamp. I'm looking for the right word to use. Where for a partner, especially when it comes to the female gender, that you're over supportive to your or supposed spouse or partner. Do you get? Let's say, for instance, you have a partner and the man isn't making efforts to make ends meet on his own part. And maybe when he goes out and come back every day, he gives you an excuse of, oh, there were no opportunities today and all of that. And you as the woman, you keep on picking up responsibilities of the home. You keep on doing these things without budging, without willing to ask the man, because you want the man to know that, oh, you really love him and you can do anything for him. You want to prove your love to him. You want him to see you as worthy enough. Do you get? So this, for me, I would say is not, that's one of the partners enabling them, and it's not encouraging. It's not good in such situation. Relationship is for relationship, most especially, is not advisable. When it has to do with illness, like one of the partner is ill and rendered disabled to do certain things, it's quite understandable. And you know how bogging that can be. You know how very stressful. If you've been around the age ones that are sick at the time and they are bedridden, you know how stressful it is when you have to help an adult to change their diapers. You have to assist them with everything. It's very taxing, it's tedious, it's sickening. Even at some point in your life, you'll be praying that, oh God, just take them so far so they can rest and I can also rest. Do you get? Because it's not really easy taking care of a sick person, like a really, really sick person who is down and can barely do anything for themselves. It's not really easy. Financially, it's draining. Emotionally, it's draining. Psychologically, any way you want to think about it. How much more when you have a partner that has the physical attributes, is healthy. He can do some things for himself and they decide to just stay back, not doing anything, because they already know that, oh, if I don't do it, she's going to take the responsibility. Or she knows that, oh, if I don't do it, he's going to take up the responsibility. So it was just like the discussion we were having yesterday. And some of us were of the opinion that women are more dependent on men. Do you get? And I was like disagreeing that this has gone either ways, because if you look at the things happening now, most especially in Africa, I don't know if it happens there overseas, in Europe and US as well. Do you get? Whereby you see young men wanting to go for older ladies. I think I and Mr. Henry, we've had this discussion. And I was like, sometimes it could be love, and it was like, you disagree. Except you're telling me that you're loving someone of the same age range in your own country and community, then I will agree it's love. But when you're going for other women of other nationalities and you're saying it's love, you want to marry them because, are you going there because of that codependency reason? Because you know that, oh, this is my next me ticket, or my next ticket away from poverty. So this is what I am driving at. Then I feel like anyone who is doing this, who is willing to do this, they are the ones enabling them, and it's not right for you to enable someone as such. Thank you so much, Angel. Do you get? But it is what it is. So I don't know if there's any other contribution as regards this. Because
But you see,
I wanted to say you unintentionally, you might not know, but you're also like killing yourself emotionally. You're draining yourself.
yeah. But I think it's okay on the side of men. It's okay for men to take care of their.
Sorry, the network cut you off. Is it my network, or we all cannot hear him?
Financially,
Okay.
I know there is
With Valley,
other
sorry, you
important
were
things.
cut
There's a
off.
lot of other things.
Sorry, with Valley, you were cut off at some point. So I don't know. Can you start all over again? Because
Can you hear me now?
yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I was saying, I was saying, like, I think it's ingrained like in us as African men, because for me, I feel very comfortable taking care of my family, like my wife. I like it when my wife depends on me financially. I like to give her everything she needs. I don't even feel comfortable her providing something, like putting something on the table. I feel very comfortable. to buy her everything that she needs. So for her to depend on me financially, I think it's very okay for me. I think it's only women that find that difficult to see that their man is depending on her.
100%.
But can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes. So I think it's very okay with men. It's men. Most of the men actually feel happy because how do you express love? For us men, the way we express love is by giving. When I buy you a gift and you appreciate it,
Sergio is here. Where is Sergio? Somebody share the light to Sergio.
yes, like that's how we express love. That's how we feel. That's how we want to, that's how we can freely express our love for the people we love. So for me, giving is okay. But then when we go back to this, like you said, depending on someone physically, when you're no longer able to take care of yourself because of an accident, unfortunately, God forbid, or you're sick, or I think that also it should always, if it comes, it should come when you have some money, when you're well established. Because if you don't have, if you're not well established, especially when you're young, women, most of the women these days are not very patient. They will leave you alone. They will just leave you. They go find another person, especially when the signs are permanent. When you, for example, you get permanent disabled, it's most likely that they are going to abandon you unless you have some money. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you with value. Hey, where did Alex drop to now? The moment I'm about to gift.
Yeah.
Your network, yes, but we can hear you now.
Yes, so that's what I wanted to
Okay.
submit.
Practically, we don't plan for such things to happen. And that's why initially I was saying that
Sorry, God, I
both
beg, what don't you
parties
plan
have
to
to be
happen?
Yes, so me
Meet
as
you halfway.
me as a man, the way
okay.
I express my love to the person I love is by giving gifts. When I feel very happy giving.
Network is against this with values love, because why is it at this point that that is Angel, why are
At
you
least
saying hey in the comment
I'm
section?
happy
What?
initially he's not talking about setting trap. He's just giving gifts. So that's good.
Of course, it's not setting trap. With value is not setting trap. Or are you? It's only
Here's my
Sergio.
point.
Why are you people
Here's what
saying
I was
emoji
trying to
move?
say when Valley
Okay.
was talking about
Yes. Yes, Monica, that's his love language. And that's my love language as
No,
well.
like I want to ask a question here for my fellow men.
Network is battling with this love. They don't want to be battling with this love.
How do you express love to your loved ones? How do you show your loved ones that you love them? How do you do that? Because for me, I express by giving gifts.
I can no longer hear you. But I think we got what he was trying to say. He said the way he expresses his love, he shows his love is by giving gifts. That's his love language, right? So I get you with Valley. God, I beg, you were saying something, and I just heard you halfway. It was as if you've been long
okay, let
talking,
me
and we just
continue. Sorry.
Congratulations,
Can you hear
Angel,
me now?
on your level. Yeah. Yes, we can hear you.
With Valley was saying something. Was making
So,
reference to conditions when the man will not be able to provide. And he said something. He said it's better when such thing happens when you have money. And the example he was citing is when the man, like, for example, had an accident and was like, people don't plan to have accidents. So you will not even plan that when you have money. So those things are not things that you plan. But when everything is going on well, leave the accident for now. You both of you are supposed to be helping each other in that dependency. It should not be one-sided, because when it's one-sided at that, like I said, to always be the one
I
supporting
don't know if it's my
financially.
network, but I,
Even
I
at
it looks
that,
like
that
it's
does not
blinking
mean
in the middle of the point you want to make. I don't know
God, I
if it's
beg.
my
Maybe it's my
network.
network.
I used to think
Because I
Okay.
can
it's
see
my network also, but
it
I'm
should be
beginning
my
to think
network.
now that is your network.
Oh, okay.
Definitely, it's my network too. Since more than one person is complaining. Let
Okay.
me try typing in the comment section.
No, continue, continue. We can hear you now. It seems like your network is stable. Hello, Adrian.
Okay, let
Adrian,
me
welcome. Sorry. Oh, God, I beg you can unmute. We can hear you now.
continue. That part of.
I'm trying to read up a part here,
Here is
but
my
I think my
take.
network is better.
My take
So,
on this is that in as much as all men
it's bad.
want to be the one taking a full responsibility of the financial aspect, it will be also be wise to empower the lady to also be able to of for anything that may happen, because just like with Valley just made reference to maybe an health issue, that's just one of the possible problems. The man can have financial issue also. We all know that's also possible.
Yes, we
In
agree.
line to be able to assist in such, there will be a big problem, because since the lady was totally dependent on the man, and now the man cannot do that very thing. So definitely that how
It rained here, Shalto. It rained here in Nigeria, so I can understand the bad network
yeah.
across the country. It's really affecting me now.
So
I
that's
can't
just
open
my
the tab and I want to read from it, but I can't open it now.
I think
Okay.
I'm getting his point. Eh? God, I beg his
Thank you,
point. Eh?
Mom.
I'm getting it.
Mm.
Yes. So, like, yes, like what I was saying. Of course, when you get an accident, it's not something that you plan for. But when you're learning your life, you have to make sure you have some businesses. Even when you're down, at least there's a cash flow, that coming. And it depends on the family, the kind of family that you have. Because if you have a nuclear family, if you have a family, modern kind of a family, then both of you should be working. But if it's a village setup, like this kind of life where it's only the woman is at home taking care of the kids, okay, then at least you should have some other businesses. You should have some cows, you should have some goats, you know. You should have a garden. But if you're living in town, like I do here, then you should let your woman also work. But it's so nice when a man is providing for his family. There is something special about that. And of course, you, as a man, you gain respect, and you can express you know, there is a way when a woman gets from a man, there is some kind of energy that is created at home. But just imagine when it's a woman working and a man is not working, the energy can change. It can be totally opposite. I don't know if anyone have ever expressed that. I know there is a place where I used to live, where I used to stay. There is a man who was he was working and taking care of her family, and also her wife's family. Some members from the wife's side, they could come and stay with them. But it so happened that the guy lost his job. Okay. So what used to happen, this woman was the one working. So sometimes he could go outside talking on phone, letting everyone know that she's the one taking care of the family, talking on phone outside the house when the neighbors can hear what she was saying. Like trying to make everyone know that she's the one taking care of the family. She has done it in less than a month, but wants everyone to know. And yet the guy was doing that, was taking care of them for many, many years and wasn't doing anything to prove a point, you know? So it's I think women have not reached a level of taking care of the family. It is the man's responsibility. Yes, if the woman is also working, that's good. But it's a responsibility of a man to take care of the family. That is my perspective.
That's in an African setting, right?
Yes.
You are talking based on African settings.
Yes,
right?
yes, yeah.
Monica, please, I would like to indulge I'd like to indulge you here now. I want to ask you a question. Over there in America, what's the setting like? Do you think that in the normal standard home, who should bear the responsibility of providing for the family? Is it the man or the woman? Or this is irrelevant? Anyone can do so as long as they can actually afford to do so.
I mean, ideally, it's supposed to be the man, but it's pretty much everybody is doing everything now.
Okay.
Yeah. I did.
Okay, I believe it's supposed to be the man. So Shato, let's hear your perspective. We read from Monica. I know Shato is teasing me now with that perspective. Sorry, I'm used to saying that word too much. I know.
No, I just see it more or less as a shared, type of responsibility instead of it being primarily on the man because of the way that the economy has evolved to be so much to a point where you need two very hardworking, dedicated, couples, or spouses, working to make things meet the right way. It's not like the old days like they used to say where the man can do it all, and the woman didn't have to work. But nowadays things have just changed to make it so different. So that's
Okay, thank you. But in a scenario whereby in a family setting, whereby the woman is taking up certain responsibilities, and because the man has noticed that this woman is actually doing these things, he then relents, or he knows that the woman is capable of doing such. So he relents, he no longer see reason or see the importance of doing so. Like he's now feeling so relaxed, allowing the woman do it regardless. What's your take on this? Anyone? Can we get your opinion? What's your take on this, and how do you think this can be managed? Reading, it's so nice when you provide to your sweetheart. Sergio will not be here to come and read and see such comments. He will not. Thank you for the 30K tabs. Thank you, Angel. Okay, a woman's responsibility is making nice dishes. What if in a situation whereby it's the man that is the chef and he knows how to make and cook good meals better than the woman? Hey, Claire Rapido, what dropped you? Is it your network? Please come back up. I asked a question and I want to get an answer because this has to do with codependency now. And this is where it comes to play, whereby a man knows that this woman can afford to take up the responsibility without feeling any hiccups or feeling the burden on a bank balance. Do you get? And as a result of that, he decides to relent on doing such, knowing fully that he ought to do it, is his responsibility to do so. What advice would you give? Because this is where I come in when I said that that's the woman enabling the man in such situation. So in such situation, what do you think? What would you advise she do in such situation?
Here are my answers, Inex. I believe you can hear me this time around.
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
So first of all, just like I earlier said, the responsibility is not tied down to any particular person. In fact, I believe strongly that when both of them are responsible for everything, things will go far, far, far better. I mean everything. In the sense that, there are scenarios where a man will have to be in the kitchen. It was not a planned event or premeditated or whatsoever. You just find yourself in that scenario. One of those scenarios is when the woman is pregnant.
Or
Let me
sick.
say heavily pregnant, yes, or sick. You see, if you were part of those that believe that the woman must continue cooking, I want to believe at that point you end up killing the woman if she has to do that. So, but if at some point earlier on, the men, or let me say the man in particular, knows how to cook, have been cooking, you see, when they see themselves in that position or situation, it can easily be handled and taken care of without much issue. But if it was
Network
scenario,
issue.
will create a
You're
big
off
problem.
again.
So, and the same thing happens to what you were saying earlier. You're talking about your question about if the woman is the one taking care of the financial implication, like the financial bills in the house.
Or maybe
Like I always say,
emotionally.
situations
Discipline,
is
like
what will
she's
arise.
in charge of disciplining the
Yes,
children. She's in charge of
yes, it happens.
seeing to the well-being of the kids. That can be overwhelming sometimes. But if the father comes in and they both are in charge of maybe disciplining the kids or managing the well-being of the kids, it can be really very, very stable for them. But in a situation whereby the father
Yes.
is absent and
The
leaves
part
all the
of
responsibilities on the woman.
the part I was driving at is when you were talking about the woman taking full responsibility. You see, like I was trying to make clearly, that's not right. No man will be happy. Let me use the word happy for the wife to be taking full response. In fact, taking more than half of the responsibility. The man himself should not be feeling comfortable. But like I
Yes,
said, if
yes,
there's a
yes.
reason behind that, let's say he lost his job or maybe had health conditions, there must be justifiable reason. The man cannot just be healthy and strong and just decide not to be doing what he should be doing and the woman will be doing it. Like I said, it's too happen, no, because some of these things we talk about is happening. But if such things should
Yeah.
happen, should I say the relationship or the union will just last a test of time, just over, should I say, weeks or months. Things will go bad because that is not setting a good foundation for something to go well in the near future. So both of them should be, because like I said, all these things I always believe is you take a responsibility. You don't assign something you should do to somebody else. Before anybody
Your network is gone again.
Starts from, we just see it like when you get into a relationship, you don't have to cook again, you don't have to work again. But all these things are things you should do normally. Either you're single, you have to cook, you have to take care of your bills. So when you now get into marriage, that doesn't mean that you stop all those things. Now it's actually now in partnership where both of you will now, let's say, decide on what to do. But not one totally taking full responsibility. Like I said, it's not wrong you do that too. But what happens if the man just, you have made her to be totally dependent on you and you are not here? So you just set a very, very big load for her because you did not make her to know that she's supposed to take care of bills. You made her to be totally dependent on you, and as life have it, you are no more. So that's why some of these things is for our pride and for our, should I say, maybe boost our confidence, taking responsibility of all these things. But it's also very, very good that we engage them. And the same thing happens to the women. Yes, you are the best cook or the man is the best chef. You should also let your wife, at some point, if it's to boil water, at least let's start from there. Do something.
Okay.
But
Hello, can
when
you
you
hear
have a
me?
family, when you have a family, especially when you have children, yes, a man
Yeah.
can be working and providing for the family, but there are
Next
some
is
other
praise.
things that a man cannot do usually that a woman can do at home. And most of the time, we actually become oblivious to the work, the domestic work that a woman does. And we pay
Yeah.
much of attention to the income, the financial support that the man gives us. I think the man, if the man was only providing that financial without the manager at home, managing the family, kids, planning. I think that's also very important. But most of the time, we don't pay attention to that, and we carry all the attention to the financial support that coming from the head of the family, and that's what is supposed to do. But a woman also plays a very, very important role that you cannot pinpoint. Okay, first of all, there is something very special about women in the family, even the emotional. There is a way, something that you cannot explain. A home that has a woman, okay, a functional family must have a woman. Doesn't matter if he's working or not, but there is a way how the family runs when the woman is present and managing the home, even if he's not working. Because working is something different now, but most of the people pay attention to work, forgetting the work that's supposed to be done at home for the family. Unless you have a house helper, that's also a different thing. But if you're a family of children, husband and wife, even if the woman, even if the wife is not working, still she has a lot of work to do at home.
Okay. Network has swept God I beg an angel down, down the stairs. Okay, so we're talking about codependency and the effect it has on the person who they are solely dependent on, and also trying to like talk about ways to manage the situation and get out of codependency. Like, we said that in the process of you trying to please the other partner or the person involved who you're trying to make see that you are actually good enough for them, or you actually love them, the person you're trying to prove a point to, in the process you end up losing yourself. You end up losing your self-worth. You now have low self-esteem. Like, you start questioning your being. Do you get? Because you are trying to, you are looking out for others, forgetting about yourself. So I want us to talk about that. more especially. It could be for men, it could be for women. As a man, maybe you're doing your best as much as you feel like you can. You're actually doing your best, you're going way beyond, but your partner is not seeing it as good enough. Do you get? Because they're expecting more from you. At that point, it can make you lose your self-worth. It can make you lose your self-esteem. It can make you even go into depression. Do you get? Making you feel like you're not enough, you're not doing enough, you're not giving enough. So I want us to talk about the point where we become self-aware, where we become self-conscious of this kind of manipulation. Do you get? Because sometimes they can manipulate you into it without you even knowing that, oh, you're already doing this, you're already like a dependent for someone else unknowingly. So I want us to talk about when do we get to know that we've gotten to that stage, and how do we come out of it? That's what I want us to actually talk about. The network is really, really fighting us crazy today. Is the rain here? Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hey, Jiro, welcome in. I see you in the comment. I'm trying to invite you. I can't invite you. I don't know why. Even Mary, and Mary has left now. Shout, oh, you don't want to come back in? Don't want to come up. So I don't know. Mary, welcome back. You're here. Okay. Mike, are you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say that I just became aware of what codependency really was. That's why I asked you, because I realized that I'm having that issue. So it is. I
Okay, sure.
started to set the boundaries and doing just that.
Sorry, Monica, I didn't get it clearly. Your background was a bit too noisy, so I did not get it clearly. Oh, did anyone hear her? Welcome me, Mary. How are you today? Okay, I think the noise is from Mary. Hello. I need to mute you.
Can y'all
Okay,
hear me?
Monica, I can hear you now. Please, sorry about that.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That I had just found out what codependency was that day. Actually, as far as me pertaining it to me and having that issue when I was married. That's why I asked you to talk about it. And so I would
Okay.
just wanted to hear different people's perspective to see how you can, because I know that when we have these discussions, people like to give examples and opinions. So just to hear different ways that I can see it happening in my life is really what I wanted to hear.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. Okay,
So
and I
like,
get you. I guess.
mhm.
Okay. And so far, I don't know if maybe you've been able to pick one or two from it, because I really understand where you're coming from. I've seen a lot of that play out, especially in relationships and even in marriage. So I've seen a lot of it play out, whereby because sometimes most people feel like it's only women that are always like that has this parasitic attitude, but sometimes a man can really want to just let you take up responsibility, so responsibility on your own. Either, and I feel like the reason why they do these things is because they don't love you genuinely. That's what I would say. Not because they don't have. Not because they don't have, because no matter what I advise, no matter how little it is, try to bring your own means, your own beating. It can even happen to between siblings, like where you see maybe siblings that live together, and one of the siblings saying that the other sibling heads way above the other person. I used to do this when I was with my elder sister. So this is like a real life example now I'm giving. Now this is my own experience I'm saying out. When I was with my elder sister, she earns more than me, and I felt like she was way older than me actually. She's 4 years way older than me. So so I felt like, oh, because she's the elder sister, so she should take responsibilities of everything that we have to do in the house there. So me, I was just there sitting pretty, lounging and enjoying our money feeling like, oh, I'm the baby of the house, pamper me, take care of me, do you get? But at a point in life, I got to realize that if I continue like this, at when she was at this certain age that I had gotten to, she had been able to achieve a lot of things on her own. Sorry, I have to bring God a bagel. Sorry for leaving you that long. She had been able to achieve a lot of things on her own. So I was like, this lady is doing so well for herself. Like, so she was like a motivation for me to start wanting to get things for myself and not just rely on my boyfriend or on her to do things for me. Do you get? I felt like on her when she's getting things done as a lady. She's working, she's using her money so well. Why me at the time? I was also working, but before you know it, at the end of the month, my money is gone. Phew, she that is taking responsibility of the home, of the house as a dead, she had more savings than I did. She never went broke. There was never a time she was lacking in any way or saying that she needed to ask me. But me at the time, even with my own money, not spending it on food, not doing anything, at the end of the month, I'll still be like, hey sis, can you lend me some money to go to work tomorrow? I don't have money. Because I just sat down, I was thinking within me, and I'm like, what am I even doing? What am I not doing right? So I decided that no, I should take certain responsibilities. Okay. She's a picky type. She doesn't eat. She doesn't eat. But at the end of the month, you see her stocking the house with food stuff and all. Where she's stocking it up for? Me. And she's picky, she can just take biscuit and tea and she's good for the day. Do you get? Yet here I am. I'm not putting any effort. I'm not paying bills. I'm not feeding. I feed orphan literally. But yet at the end of the month, I'll still go broke or I'm not seeing tangible amount of money I've kept somewhere. Do you get? So I decided that I would take up responsibilities and start doing certain things. So she was shocked one time she came back and she was kind of like telling me, okay, write up list what we need to get when we go to the market tomorrow. And I'm like, no, open the drawers and see. Open the cabinet and see. I've thought. She was looking at me like, who gave you money? Who bought this for us? This, that. Because she never believed that, oh, I will do this thing. So I feel like these are some of the attitude most partners play when they are in relationship or in marriage. They feel like because the other person can do this 100%, so there's no need for me to stress. So they just sit back and let the other person carry the whole body, not knowing that at one point in time, you might be overworking them, you might be overstretching them. Because me taking responsibility for myself, it actually helped me a lot. When I started thinking, I was like, okay, if this lady leaves tomorrow and she's up for marriage, she goes, where will I start for? I'll start struggling. So I had to start saving up. And at some point, I was like, okay, I want to start living alone. So I can actually know what it feels like paying rents and doing things myself. And it paid off for me because just like as God will have it, it wasn't even up to some month I decided to live alone. The fiance popped the question and off she left for marriage. So imagine I was left back and I was still trying to be the baby, waiting for her to continue to babysit me, and now she's gone. I would find it very difficult to start picking up myself or finding my feet on the ground. Do you get? So sometimes I feel men and women do these things the most. Most men, when they see that the woman can take responsibilities, they just completely abandon it for her, and then the money that they're supposed to use in maybe supporting or the presence that they need in supporting the family by being there as parents to guide the kids, support and discipline when necessary, they'll use it to go out looking for other means because you've really let them lose. You've given them too much slack. So they now have too much time, too much opportunity, too much money to spend around. So they start going out to look for other things to do. But when you speak up, just like you said, Mo, when you speak up, letting them know that this is what you should do, this is your responsibility as a man or as a woman in the house, then I think they will start finding their ground and knowing that, yes, I should be more responsible more. I should do certain things more. So, with this, I'm very much grateful. I don't know if anyone has any take or submission aside this. For me, this is all I got to say. Yeah,
Okay.
Clara.
Hello. Yes.
Hi.
Yeah. Um, I feel one of the major problems that people are facing is that when they are going into relationship, they like to leave certain things behind. I know these days a lot of things have happened, and we now choose our words carefully to the point that if we want to talk about marriage, we start watering it down. As if the ideal of marriage, we just slept and woke up and decided that, okay, we are going to be having partners. If you are going into any relationship, you are supposed to come with all of you. If the lady is going into a relationship, you should come with all of her. Then the same thing for the man, because I still remember one of the very good questions that I used to ask, particularly in some churches. If I'm being specific, in Catholic church, in Catholic church, they will ask, "Have you come without reservations in your heart to enter into this union?" Underline that word, without reservation. These days, I've realized that most persons enter a relationship with reservations in their hearts. That's why they can't give all of them. That's why if they come into a relationship, they still want to hold certain things back. Because the idea of coming into a relationship is to, okay, let me see how I can improve this person's life. Let me see how I can add value to this person's life. Let me see how I can make this person happy. So if the other half is also thinking like that, we will not be having issues in any relationship. Personally, in my own opinion, I don't think when it comes to money in relationship, nobody has money. The man doesn't have her own money, because the moment we started defining that this is my money, this is your money, that was where issues started from. Because if the money is one, then there will be no issue. If we are complementing each other, there will be no issue. Of course, a lot of persons go into it with selfishness. So that selfishness, I think they need to be addressed. They need to be schooled as to, okay, what is sponsoring this selfishness? Why are you thinking like this? Because one of the why it is so serious, if we're in a relationship, it's not just about us. There are children that are going to be inside that relationship, and how we treat each other will affect their mindset that we have just created another generation of problems again, because we have not been able to relate well when it comes to emotions, when it comes to money. So those children will copy those things and start having their own narratives again as to, okay, this is what relationship is. Because ideally, the right type of relationship and behavior are supposed to actually be learned from parents, but parents are busy doing whatever concerns them. That's why a lot of persons are now having, okay, this one has to be your money. Okay, you bring money. Oh, you are not bringing anything. You are not doing those ones. Two people that have been living together for some time. If one is facing challenge, of course the other will know. If the other one is facing challenge, the other person will know. So having issue as to, okay, somebody is holding back. Why are you holding back? Now, we also have to try as much as possible to understand our partners. Let's say, for example, a lady has a man. The man just lost his job. The lady is supposed to know that this man just lost his job. Of course, they will not have to work with whatever is available. It's not a question of saying, okay, I'll have to bring 50% or 60% of my income. Then the other 60% or 20% or whatever is left, where does that percentage go? You are not a visitor in the relationship. It's not even a question of being a roommate, or you are a visitor in your own marriage, or a visitor in your own relationship. If you are coming, you should come with all of you. We know that, of course, a lot of persons' mindset have been messed up. They are just they want to go into a relationship just to take. That is why Mercy after death, me personally, I don't have a remedy for that. What I have a remedy for is before you even go into a relationship, there are some red flags that when you see it, you will know this person, no, there is something wrong with the person's thinking. I can't work with this mindset. And at that point, you are supposed to live there. Because I believe we were not left in the dark. We were told if you are looking for a lady that will make you happy, that will truly be a partner, these are the things that the person would have. If she does not have this one, she can't play that role. The same thing with a man. If you are a man and you don't have so quality, of course, those qualities are in the person's mindset and the way the person is thinking. If you are not thinking like this, it's even a no. It's like you want to go to school, a particular school that you want to go to. Maybe you want to study medicine or nursing, or you want to study law. This particular school does not have law. Would you still pick JAMB or whatever the country is as to, would you still apply to that university? I don't think so, because what you are looking for is not there. But what we do, whether ignorantly or deliberately, I don't know, we'll walk into that school and still be seeking admission and try to graduate from there. If we take that context into relationship, we'll see a lady, we'll see a man that his mindset regarding partnership, no, there's something wrong about it. We'll still go into that type of relationship. One will always have problems. In fact, there's no two ways about it. We'll have problems. So as a matter of fact, like I said, I believe mercy after death, you patch it here, is the children that will suffer. Because they too will not have the opportunity of learning what it really takes to be in a relationship. So my take is, first of all, before you even enter, know if this person has what it takes, particularly in the way the person is thinking. Because somebody's mindset does not grow old. The body can grow old, but the mindset does not. And if you're already in that situation, of course, you now need to take a lot of talking, a lot of understanding. Try to teach the person what love really is, how to truly love somebody, what it means to be in love. Then of course that will take time. That's why that's why it's usually recommended you do these things even before you enter inside. Because when you are not inside, a lot of emotions have been invested, a lot of things have been invested. Fighting for the love is another stress on its own. Even leaving the relationship is another stress on its own. But to avoid all those things, you just follow the rules. There are rules to everything. Every game, everything has its own principles. When we follow these principles, we will not have issues. But if you're already inside, as much as possible, speak with the person from your heart. Because I remember I had a friend. The friend was having issues with his wife. His wife was holding on to money. So there was one idea I just gave him. I said, you don't have to even complain. On a very beautiful day, just call her. I said, okay, come. Let her sit down on your lap. Talk to her. Like, okay, this money that you are holding, what exactly do you want to do with it? First, now, I'm your husband. You know I don't womanize, which will be a justification for you to be planning either your own future or holding on to money. You know I don't womanize. You know I don't go clubbing and go drinking. So why exactly are you holding this money? If the money touches my hand, since the day we met till today, every penny that I've spent them for the betterment of this family. So you are not a visitor here. So you have to realize that you have come to this place to come and stay, and it's actually forever. Now there's another concept we are missing again, which is, for the two shall become one. We have not been able to wrap our heads around becoming one. Because if we truly become one and we are aiming for the same goal, we will not have different dreams. the lady or the wife will not be trying to achieve something while the man or the husband is trying to achieve another thing. Or probably maybe the lady is trying to build a house in should I say in Nigeria, then the man is trying to buy a house in Europe. That does not align. They are supposed to have the same goal. Of course, there will be varieties, but they should be open enough to understand that okay, this is partnership. It is not play. And going into it, you have to come into it with the right mentality. And another thing, relationship or marriage or any of those things, they are not even by force. If you are not cut out for it, and if you discover that okay, you are going to be you are going to be in quote a wahala to another person, just stay alone and let peace reign. You understand? So let me leave it like that for now.
Thank you so much, Clara Pido. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you, Monica, for bringing this topic up to our attention because regardless how you see it, it still end up bringing us around the whole relationship cycle and what's not and what's me in our relationship. So I thank you guys so much. I really appreciate your time. Thank you for taking out the time to come join me and have this conversation. Thank you for staying so long up to this time. It's not easy from your busy schedule. You took our time to come stay with me. Monica, I know you had to end your life. Thank you so much. So thank you for joining. I appreciate you all big time and I really love this. Next week, if you love what we do, if you're listening from FYP or you'll be coming in and out, next week we always do this once a week. That's every Thursday, 7 p.m. So next week we'll be talking about detachment. Thank you. I love this flower so much. Thank you so much. So next week we'll be talking about detachment. So please, if you want to know, I promise not to be spying this time around. Sorry, I was a bit lazy and carried away so much. Thank you, Shato, and congratulations on your levels. Thank you. So next week we'll be talking about detachment. So how do you detach from someone you love, like you once loved, and you're no longer together and all of that? So come next week, let's put our heads together, talk about it, and know how we can fully detach from our past feelings or relationship. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and catch you on next week. Bye-bye. Everyone, unmute your mic and say bye-bye. Mary has left without saying bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye, Hinex. Very
Bye,
nice
Shato. Bye,
topic
Monica.
today. All right.
Oh, thank you so much. Bye, Clara Pido. Bye, God, I beg. Thank you. Edro, you're still here. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.